Como conseguir o green card através de um membro da família? Hoje estamos aqui fazendo nosso primeiro vídeo do escritório SKMP, Sodete Plunkett e Associados. Estou aqui com a Sodete, fundadora desse escritório, mais de 20 anos trabalhando aqui no estado de Nova Jersey com imigração, prestando um serviço para as nossas comunidades aí de Portugal, do Brasil, as comunidades também dos países africanos que falam português. Eu sou um estagiário aqui no escritório, estou amando trabalhar aqui. She knows that I'm loving to work here with you.
Absolutely, and we love having you, Caleb, with all your expertise, and you have provided a lot of help to our office.
Okay. Gente, eu estou aqui aprendendo muito aqui no escritório, então a gente vai começar a falar hoje sobre como conseguir um green card através de um membro da família. So that, thank you for the opportunity to share information, as I know, I believe you 100%, you're ethical, to share important information about immigration to our communities.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here with you tonight, and I think that it's important the information that we receive. There's so much false information out there, and I'm hopeful that tonight we can share the right information so you can make the right decision about your immigration case, who you want to choose as a lawyer, and who you want to listen to. So, very important.
Thank you, guys. Pessoal, então vamos aqui para a nossa primeira pergunta. Okay, this is we want to begin from the beginning. So this is, I think everyone asks these questions. How can I get a green card through a family member? How we can answer this question to our clients?
So I want to be clear that only specific people can actually petition for a family member. Oftentimes I have people come in and they're an aunt or an uncle and they have a favorite nephew in Brazil and they want to petition for that person. Unfortunately, the immigration laws doesn't allow you an aunt or an uncle to petition someone. However, a mother or a father who is a U.S. citizen can petition you, or a mother or a father who is a green card holder can petition someone who is unmarried, their child, of course. Brother or a sister who is a U.S. citizen can also do that. You can also sponsor your spouse if you're a green card holder or a U.S. citizen.
Sorry for interrupting.
No worries.
Okay, so to petition for someone, I have to be at least LPR or U.S. citizen.
That's correct, Caleb. That's correct.
Okay.
You have to be at least an LPR or U.S. citizen. You cannot just be. You have to have status.
Okay, so in an immigrant case, who is the petitioner? Who is the beneficiary on the case?
Okay.
How they can identify themselves in a case?
Okay, so the petitioner, I'll give you. I'm going to give you an example. So let's say you're a U.S. citizen spouse and you met a beautiful wife in Portugal, or a fiance, or you went on vacation and you met someone. You would be the petitioner because you are the U.S. citizen. You are trying to get that person here.
See.
The beneficiary is the person receiving the benefit. So the person who is receiving the benefit is the beneficiary. So the spouse, that's the U.S. citizen, is the petitioner, and the person getting the green card is the beneficiary. Let's say you have a brother. You're a brother that's a U.S. citizen. You are a U.S. citizen,
Yes.
and you have a brother in Brazil. You are the petitioner, and the brother is the beneficiary.
Yes, the petitioner has a role in the immigrant case. For example, what is the responsibility or the support that the petitioner have to provide for the beneficiary?
Okay, so first and foremost, once you file the petition, and if the person is outside of the United States, there are certain it goes to the National Visa Center. There are certain documents that they require you to provide. One of the things that is very important is that you have to prepare and file out an affidavit of support. It's a document, it's a legal document that basically shows that person will not become a public charge. So you have to have your taxes. So it's the ideal petitioner would be working, paying his or her taxes, and there is a poverty guideline and should be making above the poverty guideline. However, we understand that there are some people who might not be working, and you can still do a petition, but you will need a co-sponsor, someone to take the place of you.
This is a good question. For example, okay, now I understood. So if I am the petitioner, but I don't pay my taxes, I'm not making good money, not paying tax, I can still apply for someone, okay? But I need a petition for someone, but I need a sponsor to do this.
You will need a co-sponsor. And that person has to be either a green card holder or a U.S. citizen.
Another one detail here. So I have a friend, for example, he can be my sponsor in a marriage case for a green card, for example. Anyone can be a sponsor for someone in a case?
Yes, but that person has to be a green card holder or a U.S. citizen.
Okay, the sponsor doesn't have to be a relative.
The sponsor does not have to be a relative.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes, it could be your boss, it could be your friend, but it is a big responsibility, and that co-sponsor will have to turn over certain documents that might be confidential.
Okay, so now I know that I am eligible to apply for a green card through a family member, but now I want to know if will my case be denied? For example, there are reasons to be denied a case in an immigration.
There are a myriad of reasons why an immigration case will be denied, Caleb. And it's so important for someone to speak to a reputable immigration attorney to just look at the entire facts of your case. They take into consideration your criminal history. They take into consideration prior immigration violations. So it's very important that if you want to petition someone, that you have a good meeting with a reputable, trustworthy immigration attorney, just so that you will be able to overcome whatever obstacles, if there are any obstacles that would come up.
Yes, this is important because often people think that their case is the same case of their friends, for example, and they come, because my friend got the green card and I am in the same situation.
That is a common misconception amongst people who are amongst immigrants who are attempting to get a green card. What I've observed is that people always tend to feel like their case is just like their friends. Something very small in your case could make a world of difference. So it's very important not to compare your case to anybody's case. Your case is your case, and that's it.
Because, for example, the friend never tells all the truth about the facts. And
it's not only about that they don't tell the truth, to be honest. It's also that they don't know. Sometimes they look at the bigger picture and they say, I came through Mexico and I got my green card. But then your friend might have came through Mexico, got caught, has a criminal history. And so those are some of the factors that it's so important to never compare your case. I cannot tell you how many times clients always say, but you got my friend her green card, why is mine denied? Different case, different issues, different facts, different officers reviewing your case.
That's true.
So there are many different things that it's so important that you do not compare your case to somebody else's case.
Okay, so let's see this scenario. why is there are some people that goes to their country to get a green card interview and people that, for example, get green card interviews inside the United States?
Very good question. When you come to the United States crossing the border, that is an immigration violation,
without a visa, just crossing the border.
That's correct.
Okay.
Crossing the border,
Okay.
And it's an entry without inspection.
Okay.
Oftentimes people will say, I came through Canada, I came through Mexico, I came through Arizona, and those people did not actually go and apply for a visa to come to the United States. So they crossed the border to be able to live here, come here. And people do that for a myriad of reasons. It's not some to seek asylum, whatever it may be. And some people come here for a better life, and that's the way they're able to do so. With that being said, if you cross the border, you will need special laws or regulations to be able to obtain a green card in the United States. And the reason why you see some people going abroad while others are not is because of how the person came to the United States, and it involves whether or not they were able to do a waiver, a pardon here, and then it's called a provisional pardon, and then go back. Those are the reasons. If you came with a visa, then you're doing what's called an adjustment of status, meaning you're just changing your status from one to the next.
The person came with a visa, but the visa expired, and the person, like 10 years after got married. So this person can do the adjustment of status? Or
That's correct. So if that person came in with a tourist visa, a legitimate tourist visa that they applied for at the embassy, let's say they traveled a couple of times or maybe just one time, and they came to the United States and they decided, I love it here, I just want to live, and they've decided to live, and then they meet the person of their dreams, then of course the law allows that person to apply for an adjustment of status. However, obviously there are many other factors, your criminal history, your prior immigration violations. So it's super important to always talk to an immigration attorney. And also, you asked me about marriage, if you are getting a green card through marriage, you do have to prove that the relationship is a bona fide relationship. It's not just marry, it's marry someone that you intend to form a life with. And it's so important to prove that relationship is a bona fide relationship.
Yes, I'm just remember here that Portugal, they have this they have the passport that they can come here and they go back. They don't need
that's what's called a visa waiver.
Visa waiver.
So there are certain countries, especially mainly European countries, that have what's called a visa waiver, because the idea is that most of those people they don't overstay their time here.
But here is the questions. They don't have a visa. Can they do the adjustment of status?
Yes, they can. In previous years, there were some difficulties in certain jurisdiction for people with visa waivers. But now we are in the jurisdiction of Newark, and immigration is federal law. So it basically in New York, New Jersey, if you came in with a visa waiver program and you overstayed your 90 days and you're here and you've had no immigration problems or issues, you can certainly get married and you will be able to adjust your status. Correct.
Good question.
Very good question.
Very good answer. Guys, she said something here before about the bona fide marriage. Let's just talk about this, because people don't know this expression, bona fide. What does it mean?
It's not just a bunch of big words, Caleb. Bona fide is how can you prove to immigration that you married this person because you love this person and not just because you wanted to get a green card. So for example, some of the normal stuff a couple is expected to have are joint bills, joint bank accounts, commingling of funds, joint taxes, for example, insurance. It's important to have these documents. If you document your trips, let's say you went to Las Vegas together, you might want to make a photo album, because it's your burden to prove that you're marrying that person because you love them and not only because you want to get a green card.
And we have to show the officer that it's clear.
Absolutely.
That the marriage it's true.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I have a question. Good questions now here at the end. So
all your questions are good, Kayla.
Thank you. So, questions now about, I want to know what are your expectations about this new Joe Biden office government?
Okay.
About relate to the immigration.
All right. So expectations. So ask me that in Portuguese.
Ok, essa é muito boa. Quais são as suas expectativas para o novo governo aí do Joe Biden relativo aos imigrantes?
I understood that.
Thank you.
So, unfortunately, Joe Biden inherited a very, very broken immigration system. And while I remain optimistic, because I have been practicing for more than 20 years, it will be a long process, and we will have to be very patient. While I believe that the approach is more human than the prior administration, I will caution our community and your community to be patient because it is a process. We are also in the middle of a pandemic, so there is a backlog on immigration cases due to the pandemic. Cases are taking a longer time. So while I have lofty expectations, I am very cautious to say, I want this, I want that, because I know it's a process. It's a marathon and not a sprint.
Okay.
So some of the things I would hope for, because I want this for my client, I'm hoping for a law to allow people who have been here for a specified period of time, who are law-abiding citizens, who have U.S. citizen children, who have done everything right except, they crossed the border, they're here undocumented, to be able to get a green card if they can prove certain things and pay certain fines. So that's what I hope for. I hope for example, DACA recipients to be able to adjust, TPS recipients to be able to adjust. So I'm positive, but I'm also cautious because I know how the challenges of the immigration system.
Yes, thank you so much. Another, for example, if we see, we are hoping that we can see this bill passing. What the immigrants can expect will be as a requirement in that bill. What do you think?
Specifically, I will talk about in general when there are in the past any type of immigration laws passed. One of the things that is required is to show physical presence in the United States for a specified period of time. So obviously there will be some limitations as to who will be eligible, because if you just came to the United States 2 months ago, the question would be, will the Biden administration, whichever administration, limit the time? So let's say, for example, the law requires you to have been here for 5 years, then obviously you would have to have documents to show that you've been here for 5 years, let's say 10 years. So some of the documents that we use is our hospital records, school records for your kids, any kind of medical records, and taxes, whatever it may be, work records, old driver's license, even if they're from other states, to be honest with you. So you will have to show physical presence in the United States for a specified time. I don't know what time, because there is no laws yet. However, you will also have to show good moral character. Okay. And there are some people who have had minor traffic stops and things like that. That's why it's so important to talk to an immigration attorney. But good moral character is one of the positive things about paying taxes, is that when you pay your taxes, immigration looks at that, the government looks at that in a very positive way, and it shows your good moral character. But when I say taxes, I mean accurately reporting your taxes. It's not just about reporting $2,000 or $1,000. Actually report what you're making. It's so important.
Now, how can a person accurately pay the tax or report that tax?
So
because
you can apply for a tax ID number with the IRS, and basically it is a form that you have to fill out. An accountant can guide you, and with that tax ID number, let's say for example you're working a beauty salon and you're making cash, and let's say you make $400 and every month you make $1,600. You should try as best as you can to accurately report your income taxes. So you would multiply, and then you would go, and you might have to pay back, but it's good because you're helping the schools, your neighborhood to pick up the garbage. So you're showing, look, I'm undocumented, but I want to do my fair share. And I think that's an amazing thing. What I don't like, and what I see very often, some people own 3 houses and then they report $12,000. That shows if you're underreporting and you're asking for a benefit, it doesn't match up because you're being a tax cheat. So I urge people to accurately report their income taxes, because if there is a law that's passed, then it would be great to see that you actually try to contribute to our system.
Ok. Pessoal, nossa, tantas perguntas aqui foram respondidas. Nossa, ela deu uma visão de como ela vê assim, a projeção do governo do Joe Biden para a imigração. Também respondeu como conseguir aí um passo inicial de como uma pessoa pode conseguir o green card através de um membro da família, né, um esposo, um casamento. Também ela falou sobre a importância do sponsor dentro de um caso de imigração. Várias perguntas. So that, thank you, very big thank you, our community. I think I always want to do this to inform our people from Brazil, from Portugal, and countries that speaks Portuguese, because I believe in your work. I am an intern here in this law firm. I am very happy. I am enjoying this time here. So thank you. You can say anything to our communities.
So I'm very honored to be a part of your community, and I welcome you to my office. If you have any questions or concerns, I do urge you to speak to a reputable immigration attorney. I understand that sometimes your friend's friend knows someone who fills out paperwork, but it's very important to get the right information. So my job, and Caleb is here helping me, thank you, is to give you the right information. So it was a pleasure being here with you, and I look forward to meeting some of you, and best of luck. Okay. And thank you, Caleb.
Thank you.
You're amazing. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you, guys. Pessoal, olha só, esse foi o nosso primeiro vídeo. Espero que vocês tenham gostado e fique atento aí para os nossos próximos vídeos, ok?
Bye.
Bye.